wrap up another college football Saturday with a huge upset in Arizona State beating number 6 Oregon 31-28. This is shocking beyond shocking because Arizona State hadn't held a lead since October 12th, a 4-game losing streak, and they just weren't in any of the games. But the Fighting Herm Edwards came and got the ultimate knockout blow for Oregon and senior quarterback Justin Herbert. Very unfortunate for him and the team, as their college football playoff hopes are dashed. They will get probably the consolation prize of the Rose Bowl if they are able to beat likely Utah in the Pac-12 championship game, but they wanted the big prize and they fell short. They were down 24-7. Momentum seemed to turn after a 4th and 1 stop by the Sun Devil defense, and Justin Herbert just looked pedestrian with 2 interceptions on consecutive passes in the third quarter that allowed the Sun Devils to get out to a 17-point lead. They did come back in typical Oregon fashion with lightning fast drives, 2 under a minute, and it was 24-21 with 5:39 left, 3rd and 16, and they give up an 81-yard bomb for a touchdown. True freshman quarterback, I cannot remember his name, I apologize for that, 406 yards just growing up, and they've got some speedy wide receivers. Herm Edwards is building a program down there, and for that kid to be able to stand in there and hit his guy in stride and just let him cruise to the end zone is absolutely amazing. Terrible job by Oregon. Yes, I know the guy got beat one-on-one, but it's 3rd and 16. How could you not have a safety back? You've got to keep the ball in front of you. And I think that was on the Oregon coaches just as much as it was on the poor safety that bit on the stutter and go. So unfortunate for Oregon, and actually unfortunate for the non-Alabama fans, because that opens the door wide for Matt Jones in Alabama to sneak in with a convincing win over Auburn in the Iron Bowl and a possible loss by Georgia in the SEC championship to LSU. But the other big games of the day, Ohio State survives the first close game they've had. Enjoyed having Chase Young back in their defense. I think somebody, Field Yates on Twitter, said it best. Chase Young is already the Redskins' best player. Dan Snyder, please don't screw that one up, but he probably will. But Chase Young was a man amongst boys off that dumb suspension by the NCAA. I will never understand the NCAA, but 28-17. Unfortunately for Penn State, they got down 21-0 early and lost their quarterback Sean Clifford to a leg injury, and kind of were able to fight back, get back into it because of Ohio State turnovers. But in the end, Chase Young and that defense was too much. Unfortunate for Ohio State, that had to hold their breath at the end. Justin Fields got up gimpy after he tried to a quarterback run just to bleed the clock, and it didn't go well, or a fake pass and whatever. It just didn't really go well, and 100,000 people, you could hear a pin drop, but he got up, walked off under his own power, so it's okay there. And then for Georgia, it was a hard-fought 19-13 victory over the Texas A&M Aggies in nasty weather conditions. Again, I wasn't impressed by Georgia's offense. Jake Fromm, I know there were nasty conditions, but he missed several throws for big plays and even touchdowns. So he'll need to get that ironed out, especially against LSU, and so they will be able to compete for the national championship. They need Jake Fromm to be able to make those throws. But DeAndre Swift was absolutely amazing today. Rodrigo Blankenship was really good as well with those kicks in nasty conditions. One of the most beloved kickers I've ever seen in football history, let alone college. He's just amazing. So good on him for senior day and just having a good day. But it's simple. Georgia hangs their hat on defense, and their defense is nasty, and I'm not going to ever dispute that. I just hope that they don't get into a shootout, because I don't know if Jake Fromm in this offense could win. I think they all have to be on their defense, and unfortunately their defense has been susceptible to the slant routes of late. So, and Joe Burrow and that Joe Brady are going to take advantage of that perceived weakness in the last couple of games, and Kirby Smart will address that, I assume. So there's those, and then Joe Burrow, typical Joe Burrow day, padded his stats with a 56-20 victory over the lowly Arkansas Razorbacks, who fired their coach Chad Morris 2 weeks ago, and they got a long way to go. It was nice to see LSU's defense actually be a defense, 400, as they gave up 404 rushing yards to Ole Miss the game prior. So just kind of shoring that up, because Georgia's run game is absolutely amazing with DeAndre Swift and Harrion and all the other backs they can throw at you. So that'll be a big key. But for my Charlotte 49ers, they are officially bowl eligible for the first time in program history. Just absolutely amazing. Proud to be a 49er, and I got to give credit to Jeremy Pruitt and the Tennessee Vols. They are now bowl eligible, and if you told me that after the first 2 weeks, I'd say you're lying. But great job by the players, the coaches, just staying the course, and the bowl will feel like a championship after the jump off the cliff first two losses to BYU and Georgia State at home. So to be able to come back from that, absolutely amazing. An amazing college football week. Good job, Herm Edwards, throwing the college football rankings into a frenzy. That really helps out Oklahoma, Utah, and of course Alabama. I really was hoping we would go a college football playoff without Alabama, but I guess that's illegal. But this was a great college football Saturday. Can't wait till next week.